The main Adidas store in Shenzhen's Futian Central Business Area declared its closure on November 30. The 3,200 square meter store required a total of 50 million yen, about $7 million in investment, before it opened in December 2021. There is a perception that China's consumer goods economy is declining as a result of this store and closure of many such stores by consumer brands. What is happening with Adidas in China? Adidas Shenzhen flagship shop closed, although a source at the German sports company said it was a typical adjustment. According to a management at the firm who spoke, Adidas has aggressively created new stores this year, leading to the closure of older locations. Adidas debuted new stores this year in Chinese locations like Chongqing and Suzhou. Due to the impact of COVID-19, shifting customer preferences, and competition, Adidas' financial results in China have improved since the second quarter of this year, with less inventory pressure. Prior to this, the company had been experiencing declines for 8 consecutive fiscal quarters. Adidas' latest financial figures show that its revenue from the Chinese market increased to 870 million euros, $942.8 million, in the third quarter from a year earlier, up 6% without taking exchange rates into account, or 10% disregarding the impact of brand Yeezy. Adidas' revenue of 6 billion euros, $6.5 billion, and net profit of 259 million euros were down 25% and 6.4%, respectively, for the period for the global market. However, industry insiders claim that when the numbers are calculated without accounting for exchange rates, Adidas' global revenue increases by 1% or 3% when the influence of its Yeezy brand is removed. This can be a true reflection of the company's actual performance. Adidas also increased its prediction for global operational profit, which was previously expected to break even, to 100 million euros for the entire year. What is the importance of the Chinese market for Adidas? Adidas is one of the largest sportswear producers right now, with projected global sales of $23.8 billion in 2022. Adidas did not open a physical store when it first entered the Chinese market in the early 1990s. Adidas began selling the imported goods through larger franchises in 1997, the year it launched its first headquarters in Shanghai. Adidas' production line and profitability have been significantly impacted by China ever since the company built operations there. But, since 2022, Adidas has seen a decline in market share as a result of several incidents and controversies that gravely jeopardize the reputation of the company. With around 15% of the Chinese sportswear market share in 2021, Adidas is one of the biggest sportswear brands in the country. Adidas reported more than $1.72 billion in revenue from the Chinese market in the first half of 2022. Adidas' extensive nationwide supply chain is one of the secrets to its success in China. China is a brand's gold mine because of the country's low cost of living and low production costs. Of the more than 440 suppliers, 78 are listed as primary suppliers as of 2022. Nonetheless, Adidas' profitability has decreased during the previous 12 months. The brand's revenue for the first quarter of 2022 was $327 million, a 38% decrease from the same period the year before. Given that since 2021, up to 20% of the company's global revenues have come from China, the scenario is concerning for the brand. Adidas CEO Kasper Rorsted predicted that the Chinese market would lose more than 35% of its income in the second half of 2022. He said that the brand's errors were to blame for the sharp decline. Consider the challenges of competing with regional brands, the unsuccessful comeback from the zero-COVID policy, and the Xinjiang cotton scandal. Since young Chinese customers prefer to choose local brands over Western athletic companies, the Gucho trend is particularly noticeable in the sportswear business. With a sales of more than $3.79 billion, the local company Anta surpassed Nike to become the largest sportswear brand in China in August 2022. Specifically, the widespread shutdown that immobilized China for the past 4 years led to the desegregation of the intricate supply chain network established by the German company. Adidas suffered a loss of $427 million in the first quarter of 2022 as a result of the interrupted supply chains. In addition, the firm had to deal with harsh repercussions for its stance on cotton from Xinjiang. Adidas announced to its global customer base that the accusations of forced labor will cause them to reevaluate their cotton supply chains. In the meantime, with over 80% of China's cotton produced there, the Xinjiang area has played a significant role in the growth of Adidas and other sportswear companies in the country. Researchers discovered remnants of cotton from Xinjiang in Adidas items as late as May 2022. Due to the ongoing boycott of Adidas in China brought on by the Xinjiang cotton issue, the brand's market share fell by 24% in Q4 2022. Adidas is seeking atonement following the events that led to its demise in China. Through a number of marketing gimmicks, the brand attempted to relaunch its products on the Chinese market by the end of 2022. Adidas and the Chinese Literature and Art Foundation agreed to a strategic operation agreement on November 4. The transaction was signed on a date that was significant because it was the 50th anniversary of China and Germany's diplomatic relations opening up, as well as Adidas' 25th anniversary of entering the Chinese market. Considering that 68% of all Chinese people resided in these cities, these markets play a significant role in the Chinese economy. Adidas aims to use these tactics to atone for the cotton issue and recover its market position in China following the COVID and Guqiao-related crashes. Adidas' latest joint marketing initiatives in China brought attention to how difficult it will be to win back Chinese customers' interest and trust. Is the economy in China declining? China's increasing list of economic problems is being exacerbated by slowing trade with the US and other important trading partners. China's imports have been declining due in part to weak domestic demand. During most of 2023, the value of products shipped by China's main trading partners fell by double-digit percentages on an annual basis. The decline in commerce occurs at a time when China is finding it difficult to achieve its growth objectives due to declining consumer demand and weakening real estate. In light of recent worries expressed by Chinese leaders regarding the amount of debt they are taking on, stimulus plans are unlikely to be implemented, which casts doubt on the country's ability to achieve steady economic growth. In 2023, there was a discernible decline in Chinese demand for items exported from Taiwan, the US, South Korea, and Japan. According to data provided by China Customs, the value of commodities shipped from those areas to China fell 12.8% year-over-year in June, lessening from the 34.1% year-over-year loss in January. China's CPI fell to 1% in February and continued to decline each month until July, when it entered a state of deflation at a negative 0.3%. Data from the Chinese National Bureau of Statistics show that although the index left deflationary territory in August, consumer confidence does not yet correspond to a steadily expanding economy. Robert Carnell, head of research and chief economist for Asia-Pacific at ING, stated, "Trying to increase the role of consumption in the economy has been a long-standing goal, and it has to be said, it hasn't made all that much progress." In terms of value, China remained the U.S. top trading partner both in 2015 and 2020, when commerce and products exceeded $557.1 billion. It gave up that position in 2021 when China's total import and export activity with the U.S. was surpassed by both Canada and Mexico. What do you think about the Adidas flagship shop in Shenzhen, China closing? Do you think the economy in China is declining drastically? Do share your thoughts on this in the comments section. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye.